friend of mine, he has a 17-year-old son. Brilliant kid, so clever he decided to quit school. But he was telling us about his first full-time job, and it was on a construction site. He said he loved the job, loved the paycheck, but he didn't like the boss because the boss made him wear his hard hat. I says, wait a second, Sean, I'm going to tell you why they make you wear your hard hat. You see, you might be the safest worker in a construction site, but there's someone else on the second story who isn't as safe as you. And for one reason or another, they let a hammer drop. Now, if the hammer drops from the second floor and hits you on top of the head and you're wearing your hard hat, well, you're going to know about it. It's going to get your attention. But there's a good chance there won't be any serious damage because the hard hat is designed to deflect the energy and is designed to help absorb some of the energy also. But if you're not wearing a hard hat, here's what's going to happen. It's going to fracture your skull, and that's going to be the least of your concerns because it's also going to rupture some blood vessels that go around your brain, and rupture blood vessels are actually in your brain. Now, these blood vessels are going to bleed under quite high pressure, so you start to develop a puddle of blood in and around your brain. Now, this puddle is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, something has to give, and because your skull is hard, it ain't going to give, but because your brain is soft and mushy, it will give. But if you're lucky, they get you to a hospital in time where a neurosurgeon can go inside and relieve that pressure. And if you're lucky, you survive. But you're going to be admitted to the hospital in critical condition. And 3 days later, they might upgrade your condition from critical to serious. Now you could have your friends and co-workers come and visit you, and they say, boy, are you ever lucky. Well, you're not that lucky, Sean, because you now have a brain injury. And there's no such thing as a minor brain injury. And you're going to spend some time in the brain injury ward where you're going to learn how to do things that you always took for granted, such as walking and talking and feeding yourself. And then they're going to ship you to a place similar to a nursing home. Now, in this nursing home, you're going to be in this wheelchair. You're actually going to be tied to this wheelchair because you no longer have the muscle control that you once had. And the minute the strap is undone, you're going to fall face first onto the tile floor, and there's not a darn thing you can do about it. But there's a nurse who's just a few years older than you. She's going to come along, she's going to crack a few jokes, help you get back in your seat, do your safety strap up, and she's going to walk away. And as she walks away, you're going to look at her and you think to yourself, my God, she's got such a great smile and such a wonderful personality, and you'd like to ask her out on a date. But face it, Sean, hey, I'm not saying she won't go out with you, but chances are she's not going to date a guy that has to be tied to his wheelchair, can't remember his name half the time, and has to wear adult diapers. You're her patient. You're not her boyfriend. Get over it. But now it's bedtime. So they roll you into this bedroom that they share with 3 other people you can't stand. They help you get into bed, and they shut the lights off. And as you lay there, you have a lot of time to think. And just like you do every other night, you start to cry. And you cry yourself to sleep. But just before you actually go to sleep, just before you actually nod off, this thought goes through your head, and this thought goes through your head every night just before you fall asleep. As you lay there, you think to yourself, I have another 50 years of this. You see, that's why you wear a hard hat, Sean. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're 17, 37, or 67. If you get hit in the head hard enough, you're going to end up with exactly the same kind of results. You see, this is what it's about. Head injuries are the leading cause of death due to trauma. Now, trauma is like force upon the body, and it doesn't take much to hurt your brain. Every day, people die from slipping on the sidewalk and hitting their head in the concrete. Every day, people suffer serious, permanent brain damage by slipping on the sidewalk and hitting their head in the concrete. So here's the point. There's a lot of different head protection out there. There's hard hats for the workplace. There's helmets for the motorcycle riders, for the ATV riders, for the snowmobile riders. There's helmets for bicycle riders. There's head protection for almost any activity you plan on doing. So the thing is to wear it because they help protect your brain. I'm Martin Lesbrunz.